Hello everybody, welcome to CNS 210, Understanding and Evaluating Human Services Organizations. I'm Dr. Brian Burke and I'm your professor for this course. So in this video I just want to welcome you and give you a little overview of navigating the course and what you'll be experiencing over the next 5 weeks. So I'm going to switch over to sharing my screen, and this is what you're going to see when you log into Canvas. So the course overview section is a text-based introduction. It's brief, and then this video. So if you're watching this video, you already clicked there. You'll also see some language about making sure you read the syllabus, and you can access the syllabus over here on the left-hand side of the course navigation menu. So that's the syllabus that you'll see in every type of course that you take at Murray State, so I'll go ahead and click on it. So it has my contact information. During the summer, I don't hold regular office hours. And because of everything that's going on between COVID-19 and we've got a little bit of renovation work happening, we're getting a new roof on Alexander Hall on campus, which is where my office is located. I'm in and out of my office quite a bit. So the best way to reach me is to email me, and we can set up a time to connect via Zoom. I found that's been the easiest way for connecting with students during COVID-19 and during the summer. If you have trouble with accessing a webcam or a microphone, we can still use Zoom and you can call in. So anytime we set up an appointment, I'll provide both a link and a call-in access number for that appointment. And the syllabus provides an overview of the course, what the course is about in very broad terms, the course objectives. So by the end of our time together, you should be able to do these things that are listed here. And the instructional activities, we're going to have some discussion board interactions. You'll have some individual assignments that you'll work on. There'll be quizzes and a final exam. So it says exams, plural, but there's one exam. And then a breakdown of what things are worth. The discussion boards are 30%. And I like to weight that a little bit higher because that's your opportunity to engage in dialogue. I think that's a really important part of learning. The individual assignments are 40%, so between engaging in dialogue and your own individual work, there's 70% of your grade. And then the quizzes and the final exam are 30%. I'll say this about quizzes and the exam. When it comes to multiple choice questions that you'll encounter on the quizzes, multiple choice questions aren't perfect. And even setting them up through Canvas, there's a chance I make a mistake in selecting the correct answer. I've gone through and double-checked everything, but even double checking, sometimes I miss something. Or there's a possibility with the way that a question is worded that more than one answer are likely correct. If that happens, if you choose something and you say, I know this is right, I can point to the page number or the exact spot in a video that we watched and demonstrate why the answer that I chose is accurate, send me an email. And we can either just have that dialogue via a couple of emails, or we can jump on Zoom and have a conversation. And then, as a result of that, if the case that you're making, I think, makes sense, then you'll get those points. So don't worry about, okay, well, I really bombed a quiz. Here's another thing. If you bomb a quiz, email me. I'll give you another chance. I want you to leave this course feeling good about what you've learned in the class. And if that means you get an A, awesome. If that means you get a B, that's great too. I want you to succeed. I want you to feel successful. So please communicate with me anytime you're concerned about your grade. Oh, and then going right back up here, this is the textbook. It's called Understanding Organizations by Howard Loon. As you'll notice, hopefully you're noticing that this course is published well in advance of the course starting to give you time to get that book. You can order it through the university bookstore or any other bookseller that you choose. If you have trouble getting it and you're not able to get to the first week's readings in a timely manner, then let me know. I can scan that. I just don't want to do it on the front end. I want folks to get the materials that you need for the class. But please let me know. This is a completely asynchronous course, which means that there are no live course meetings. So there's no attendance policy for this class. But I do check to see that you're engaging in Canvas on a fairly consistent basis. And by that I mean at least once a week, you're getting in Canvas, you are opening all the pages for that week's module, and you are completing the assignment or the activity, whatever's going on. If I look at your activity report and I check that weekly, if I'm concerned about either how often you're logging in or the amount of time that you're spending in the course, I'll shoot you an email. And it's not a hold your feet to the fire type of thing. It's I'm checking on you, because my experience has been that when I see signs that it looks like students are falling behind, it's usually because they have something going on in their life that's beyond class, it's beyond their control. So I'll check on you out of a place of concern. A note about academic honesty: please familiarize yourself with this policy. For the most part, the assignments in this class you don't need to go out and find a bunch of sources. You don't need to worry about having reference pages or quoting things or people. It's really about you sharing your thoughts. They're not really reflection papers, but it's connecting what you read and what you watch in this course to your own ideas and putting those together in an assignment. But in the event that you do feel like you need to draw on some source for a quotation, or even just say, hey, this is where my ideas are coming from, this is what I've read beyond our assigned course materials to inform my thinking, then you do need to provide a citation for that. And that can just be as simple as the author's names and the year of publication, and put that in parentheses at the end of the sentence, and then put a reference entry. This is a 200 level class. I think for some of you, this is your first course in the Human Services major here at Murray State. Not worried at this moment about you really digging in and getting APA formatting perfect or anything like that. If you have questions about formatting approaches, please let me know. I can provide some resources on Canvas. In fact, I'm going to provide something that's just a real quick, here's an overview of things to keep in mind for APA formatting. You don't need to go out and buy the APA manual just for this course, but you will need that APA manual for other courses throughout the program. Dr. Brogan is likely share that information with you. If not, he will be sharing it with you probably in the fall semester. And then our other policies in terms of non-discrimination and our policies for students with disabilities are provided here in the syllabus. And then one other thing that you'll see with the syllabus is it provides a schedule of the touch points, the things that are due. So anytime you're not sure what's next, you can always click on the syllabus link. And I'm sorry for my quick scrolling, but I'm going to click back to the home, and you can see that there's a to-do list for the course. So that's always there, but so when you complete something, that to-do will go away. A couple of other things I want to point out. So the General Questions Forum is a discussion forum where imagine that we were taking a class in a classroom together, taking this class in a classroom together, and you had a question that maybe it's about an assignment in terms of the requirements or just getting started, and you raise your hand and ask a question. You post that in the General Questions Forum. I like taking this approach. You're free to email me and ask your questions. In fact, if you have a question about choosing a topic, or one of the assignments in this class is conducting an interview of an organizational leader, if you want to run an idea by me, send me an email for that, because that's a very individual type of question. But if you have a question that you think, wow, I think my classmates might have the same question, or if somebody else asks this, I'd really want to know the answer, post that in the General Questions Forum. Also, if I get an email of a question that I think other people could benefit from knowing the answer to, I'll post that answer in the General Questions Forum as well. Student Lounge is a space for students to come together and build community. You don't have to post there, you don't have to engage in it, but it's there as a space for you. I do check it, I do moderate it. There's some ground rules posted in there about netiquette. If folks kind of treat that as a space to put each other on blast, get into political discussions, take that over to Facebook, because that seems to be what Facebook is for these days. this is for coming together and engaging community, having discussions. It can be discussions of what's going on in the world, current events. Hey, I heard that Major League Baseball is looking to start back on July 24th. Any other baseball fans out there? Whatever you want to use it for in that regard. I think of this as a bit of a substitute for if we were in a classroom and y'all were chit-chatting and getting to know each other before class, after class, that type of time. Those spaces don't exist in an online class. So this is an opportunity, an effort on my part to try to create that opportunity for y'all to come together in those types of spaces. So then as you go through each week, you'll see there are a variety of things. So week 1, introductions, do the second day of class on July 2nd. So there are some prompts there to ask everybody to respond to. I'm going to respond to those as well. And as you introduce yourself, I'm probably going to respond to your posts. Respond to each other. So if somebody says, hey, I'm a lifelong Cubs fan, and you're like, hey, I love the Cubs too, engage with each other. Make that connection. If somebody says, hey, I've always loved the St. Louis Cardinals, I'll reply, hey, I'm a Cubs fan. I feel bad for your poor life choices. So have fun, engage with each other. But again, so I just brought my snark. That's part of my personality. Bring your personality. If it feels like we're starting to kind of cross a weird, uncomfortable line, I'll connect with you individually, and kind of say like, hey, I think you were coming from a place of good fun, but try to think about how others might perceive that response. So, number 1 rule is engage with each other, have fun, but also be aware that there may be a time when I connect with you, and again, it's from a place of concern and from a place of love. Each week, there's a page that's labeled Learning Content. And when you click on this, you can see it's what to read. So Loon is the textbook. And in fact, I'll switch back over to my camera. I think. There it is. So Understanding Organizations, Howard Loon. There's one edition that I know of, and it came out in 2010. So if you go to order it and you say the bookstore sent me a second edition, let me know. I've not found a second edition. That doesn't mean that it hasn't been released and sent to bookstores since I checked for it. In that event, I'll make adjustments based on the content of that book. My experience is that second editions of books like that don't have major changes. The core concepts are there and repeated. It could be maybe there's a new preface, maybe there's a new afterword, who knows. But whatever the bookstore provides when you order your book, that's what you use. But if it's not that first edition that was published in 2010, please let me know. And then each week, there's some sort of video, and in some weeks there's multiple videos. So for week 1, recognizing that it can be tough to kind of get rolling, even though it's a 5-week course. It's not a long video. It helps provide just some other context for what's covered in Chapter 1. None of the videos are produced by the publisher of the textbook or the author of the textbook. So there are other folks that have put things out. I've gone through it. I've watched all of them. And I think they just do a really nice job of providing a little bit more depth of some key concepts that are addressed in the readings. And in some cases, elevate the readings. They add a little levity, add a little more interest. Sometimes just sitting and reading can get a little dull. And I think the videos do a really nice job of bringing some of those concepts to life. And you'll see, in week 1, there's a discussion. And so you just go in there and you respond to the prompts, and then you respond based on the prompts. So some discussions are choose 2 classmates, posts and respond to them. You'll see that there's another week where the approach is a little bit different. And then there's a quiz in week 1. You see, not every week has a quiz, not every week has a discussion. Things are a little bit different from week to week. And then there'll be a final exam. You won't be able to access that until July 30th. So that will be due on August 4th. It is not timed. You can open it and start it and come back to it. So but you cannot, once you hit submit, then you're locked in. The final exam is a series of essay questions, and there's no multiple choice on the final exam. The weekly quizzes have the multiple choice questions. One thing you can do is when you open the exam, you can copy and paste the questions into a Google Doc or a Word document and write them out and take your time with those, because you have a 4-day window here to work on the exam. I don't think it's going to take you 4 days to write this exam at all. I think this is, if you want to sit down and knock it out in a few hours, that's what it would take. And so that I approached it from that perspective of, if we were participating in a regular exam period for a face-to-face class, your exam would be a 3-hour window, since this is a 3-credit course. So think about it from that perspective. They're essay questions, but when you go to submit, I do ask that you put your text in the text boxes on the exam itself and don't upload a document. So that's it for the class. That's the overview of what's in Canvas. I look forward to engaging with you, and anytime you have questions or concerns, please shoot me an email, and I look forward to having conversations with you.